This is a Mentos in Diet Coke.
And it's in our sink.
Yeah, that's right. It's in our sink.
And those are the bubbles right there.
Yeah, look at all those bubbles forming. And this is slowed down. This is like slow-mo. And you can see there's
this is slow-mo?
Yeah, that's slow-mo. Welcome to Physics.
Family Fun.
I'm a physics teacher.
And I'm a first grader.
And today we're going to explain, that's our one for showing.
This is our one for showing.
Yeah, we're going to explain how the Mentos made that soda go crazy. Before we do that though, I think we should eat one. Do you want to eat one?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. All right. Hold on, let me.
Chili. Hot peppermint. You know what?
Well, I gotta finish chewing. So we'll cut some of this out, don't you think? All right, so how does this work? Well, we know what happened. There was lots and lots of what formed when we dropped the Mentos in?
Bubbles.
Lots and lots of bubbles. And what are in bubbles?
Air.
Air sometimes, that's right. Other times, other gases like air. Oh, uh-oh. We're losing stuff. Okay, so can you draw me like a 2 liter of soda here? Just like a 2 liter of soda. Okay, so here is our 2 liter, and then we drop the Mentos in, right? Ooh, how many did we drop in? Do you remember?
7.
7, so we had 7 Mentos lined up right here, and we allowed them to drop into the soda. And when you drink soda, Max, what do you say it does to your tongue?
Oh. Sprite makes me, it tickles my tongue.
It tickles your tongue. Do you know why?
Can I give an example of dropping the Mento?
Yeah, well, we're going to use this Mento for that. Is that okay?
I know, that's what I mean.
Oh, you want to show it? Yeah, like that? Okay. And do you know why it tickles? Whoa! Do you know why it tickles your tongue?
Why? Bubbles?
Bubbles. Lots and lots of bubbles.
Yeah, go carbonated.
Ahead. You got it. It's carbonated. And that carbon dioxide is a gas that's dissolved in the soda, which is the fancy way of saying there's a bunch of gas trapped in the soda. Okay? So a bunch of gas in there, and that's what forms in the bubbles. So the bubbles are mainly CO2 bubbles. Okay? So now normally when you pour soda, you get to see some of those bubbles, right? Sometimes that soda overflows, but it doesn't shoot up like Mentos and Diet Coke, right? So the difference here is that instead of pouring out the soda, we dropped a very specific type of candy, the Mentos, the Mint Mentos, into here. And what happens with Mint Mentos is you can't really tell this, but there's all these tiny little microscopic, these so small you can't see them, cracks in the candy, like little tiny cracks. Can you picture that? And those little tiny cracks have little bubbles of air that are so small you can't see it. And actually, when it goes into the soda eats away a little bit at it. It dissolves a little bit of the candy. In fact, feel it right now. You feel it getting sticky in your hands. Like kind of do this. You feel it getting sticky. So the water's doing a good job. Soda's mostly water. So the water's doing a good job of eating away at that. And that makes even more spots where there's those tiny little cracks. And that's a spot where bubbles can form. Lots and lots and lots of
bubbles.
Yeah, lots of bubbles. So as it drops in, picture like thousands and thousands of bubbles forming on the Mentos. As it falls in, more and more and more bubbles. But how many did we drop in? Was it 7?
7.
So 7
so
Mentos?
So here will be not much, and then here would be a lot.
Yeah, and there's just more and more.
So it'll be like here would be a lot.
Yeah, so more and more and more bubbles form on the Mentos all at once. Okay. So all these bubbles form. Guess what happens when there's too many bubbles forming all at once?
What?
It shoots up and out because the pressure in there goes up and it forces the bubbles. They go along for the ride. The bubbles go shooting outward as that pressure goes up and there's not enough room in there and everything just shoots out the top and you get Diet Coke everywhere. So it's really all about what forming on the Mentos?
Bubbles.
Bubbles, and really, really fast, lots of bubbles. Have you ever looked at when you pour like a Sprite? Where do the bubbles form when you pour a glass of Sprite?
Bottom.
At the bottom, that's right. And you know why they're formed at the bottom?
Why?
There's little cracks in the glass. Same thing like the Mentos. The little cracks allow places for the bubbles to form easier. They've got a really fancy name. I doubt you know the fancy name. Have you ever heard the fancy name for where bubbles form?
Nucleation site?
Hey, how about that? Good job. 5 though. Nucleation sites. So that's a place where bubbles form. You know when you're cooking and you're boiling water, where do the bubbles form in the pan initially?
Bottom.
At the bottom, because there's what's at the bottom of the pan? Little cracks and scratches that offer places for bubbles to form. All right, what else do we need to tell them?
Do we need to erase that?
I don't know, do we? Do you want to draw a Mentos in there with a bunch of bubbles on it?
No, this is the Mentos.
This is the Mentos that forms all the bubbles?
No, the bubbles.
Oh, you're going to put some bubbles on it. Oh, that's cool, yeah. We're not eating this one, by the way, so it's okay.
Here are all the bubbles.
On the little microscopic cracks, all those bubbles forming. And basically what's going on is there's in each of those little cracks, there's a little bit of air that's trapped that makes it easy for the, oh, that's perfect. Makes it easy for the first bubble to form. So the first bubble's got, you know, some air and some CO2. Most of the bubbles are primarily CO2. In fact, I'd probably say they all are. So, all right.
So,
I think that's it.
goodbye until next time. Thank you for watching. Can we tell them the next video? I thought we were even going to do it in a week.
I don't know. What video is the next video?
You remember?
I actually don't. Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tell, look at the camera and tell them. Look at the camera and tell them.
So we have craisins, and we're going to put it in a soda. It works with any soda. We got a kind of clear soda so we can see the craisins, but the craisins go down when you drop them in, and then they go up, and then they go down, and then they go up, and then they go down, and then they go up.
All right. We'll
Because of the bubbles.
And it looks so cool. So we got more bubbles. More bubbles on tap next time. Thank you for watching.
Why are we still here?
I don't know. Why are we still here? It's a good question.
We
Why
should
are we
cut this
anywhere?
off.
And did you want to have the last Mentos?
How many?
There's only one
Okay.
left. The other ones you need to keep in the package. Don't open them up because we might use them for rockets sometime. Here you go.
What's
Here.
rockets?
Remember we talked about how you slam it down and shoot the thing off?
The famous experiment.
What?
The famous experiment.
Yeah, it's a famous. Well, it's not as famous as the one that we just did. Oh, I didn't even think about the acoustics in here. Echo. Horrible acoustics.
Why acoustics?
Like how the sound bounces off stuff and interacts with things, like how it sounds.
Horrible acoustics.
Horrible acoustics, but that's okay. High five, man. A fist bump. Double fist bump.
No. No.
Up high.
Remember when the cloud guy did intro?
Oh, you want to do that? Okay.
No.
Oh, what do we do?
Your fist bump. Like in the zoo.
Ah! You got me.
Jellyfish.
Ah!
Helicopter.
I'm so confused. All right.